From the very start, people all around the globe have been super curious about how everything began, including us and the whole universe. Questions like, how did this all start? Who or what is behind our creation? And what's our purpose? Have been boggling minds forever. To tackle these big, head-scratching questions, different groups of people from various places came up with their own stories. These stories are known as creation myths, and they're pretty much like ancient explanations for why we and everything around us exist. Each group has its own special version of these stories, but if you really pay attention, it's cool to see how they all share some common bits and pieces. Diving into the world of myths, China is like this treasure chest full of amazing creation stories. These aren't just any stories, they're epic tales that try to explain how everything kicked off from nothing, how humans managed to sort things out from a big mess, and how we started living in tune with nature. What's super interesting is that there isn't just one story everyone sticks to. Chinese mythology is packed with different takes on how the world and people came to be. Today, we're going to zoom in on one of these stories, starring a hero named Pangu. This guy, Pangu, is a legend for literally shaping the earth and sky, laying down the groundwork for life to flourish. Getting into the Chinese creation story isn't just about going back to an old tale. It's this awesome chance to see how people from different corners of the world tackled the big questions about life. By checking out Pangu's story, we can dive into what values and beliefs have been super important in shaping Chinese culture and history. So, let's not wait any longer and jump right into this adventure through myths and legends. We're about to explore one of China's coolest stories about how everything began. It's going to be an eye-opening trip, showing us how ancient folks tried to make sense of their surroundings and figure out their spot in the big picture. Way back, even before the concept of time was a thing, there was nothing but a massive, enigmatic egg floating in the void of space. Picture this egg as a chaotic whirlpool of energy, where everything was jumbled up, the cool, shadowy vibes of yin and the bright, warm feels of yang, all swirling together without any rhyme or reason. In the middle of this intense turmoil and confusion, a giant named Pangu came into existence. But Pangu wasn't just any giant. He was equipped with the unbelievable power to reshape the cosmos. Summoning all his strength, Pangu busted the cosmic egg wide open, and that's how the story of our universe began to unfold. When the egg split, the light and pure bits soared up to create the sky. That was the yang energy doing its thing. Meanwhile, the dense, murky bits sank down to become the earth, showing off the yin energy. Pangu found himself chilling in between these two freshly created worlds. But he didn't just sit back and relax. He started to grow, and as he did, the gap between the sky and the earth got bigger too. Over an epic stretch of 18,000 years, he kept on growing taller every single day. With each day, the sky reached 10 feet higher, the earth got 10 feet thicker, and Pangu himself shot up by 10 feet, marking a time of unbelievable change and growth. For those 18,000 years, the sky stretched as far as it could go, the earth spread out in all its glory, and Pangu reached his towering best. But as Pangu's time was coming to a close, some pretty awesome stuff happened. His final breaths became the breezy wind and the fluffy clouds that sail above us. His voice boomed into the thunder that rumbles during storms. The left eye of Pangu lit up to become the sun that brightens our days, while his right eye turned into the moon that glows at night. His mighty limbs and body ends shaped into the directions, north, south, east, west, and the center, kinda like drawing a map for us, while his major body parts turned into the tallest mountains reaching up to the skies. But wait, there's more. The blood running through Pangu's veins transformed into the rivers and oceans that snake around our planet, giving us the water that's essential for life. His muscles and veins became the underground water roots, making sure life could keep blooming. Pangu's flesh turned into the soil where we grow our food, and his hair and beard became the twinkling stars in the night sky. The hair on his body grew into the lush forests and greenery that blanket the earth, giving us clean air to breathe and food to munch on. Even the tiniest bits of him, like his teeth and bones, turned into precious metals and minerals buried underground, super useful for us. This tale, told from one generation to the next, doesn't just tell us about how nature came to be, but also connects us to a universe that's alive, filled with magic, and super connected. Through Pangu's transformation, we're taught that every part of nature, from the huge mountains and flowing rivers to the tiniest plant, has a bit of the divine in it, a piece of the giant who molded the world. This story encourages us to look at the world with awe and respect, to see that the creation story is part of the earth and sky's very essence. Even the rain that waters the earth and fills our rivers was once part of Pangu, like his sweat and other bodily fluids. If you take a moment to look around, everything around you, from the air you breathe to the ground you walk on and the water you drink, has a little bit of Pangu in it. He gave up his existence so we could have this wonderful, lively world we call home. It's a precious gift, and it's on us to take care of it, to live up to Pangu's legacy by protecting our planet with all we've got. This idea of creation from a being's body isn't just Pangu's story. Way up in the chilly northern lands, the Norse folks had their own tale about Ymir, the first giant. When Ymir fell, his body turned into the world, much like Pangu. His flesh became the ground, his blood the oceans. The mountains and hills were his bones, and the forests full of life were his hair. Even the endless sky was once part of Ymir's skull. And the safe space where we humans hang out, called Midgard, was made from his eyebrows. These stories, though from totally different places, share this cool idea that the universe and all in it came from these incredible beings. But Pangu's story doesn't just end with him turning into parts of the world. Legend has it, Pangu's spirit is still kicking, not gone or forgotten, but living on through us humans. Ancient Chinese thought suggests we're not just living on Earth. We're the ongoing spirit of Pangu, the living soul of the universe. This idea highlights a deep connection between us and everything around us, a reminder that we're all intertwined with the earth, the sky, and everything in between. Seeing ourselves as the modern carriers of Pangu's spirit challenges us to a loftier goal. Just like Pangu's ultimate sacrifice led to the birth of the world, our choices today can either protect or damage this invaluable heritage. This way of thinking nudges us to ponder our role on Earth, pushing us towards living in sync with nature, honoring life's natural rhythms, and caring for the planet that sustains us. It's an invitation to see the world's sacredness, to marvel at the natural order's beauty and divinity, and to take up the mantle of being the Earth's protectors. By embracing stories like Pangu's selfless creation of the world, or Ymir's transformation into our natural environment, we're reminded of the deep ties that link us to the Earth and to one another. These aren't just old stories. They're lessons on responsibility, respect, and the interconnected web of life. They inspire us to view the world with wonder and thankfulness, and to live in ways that pay tribute to our predecessors, making sure the marvel and beauty of the Earth are kept alive for future generations. After Pangu's grand task of world creation and his subsequent departure, a magical figure stepped onto the scene. Her name was Nuwa, a goddess with the striking traits of a dragon, finding herself alone in this newly formed world, longing for company. Driven by loneliness and the desire for companionship, Nuwa devised a plan to populate the world with other beings. Nuwa's adventure led her to the Yellow River's banks, where she found the perfect crafting material, soft, moldable mud. There, she began her extraordinary project. She molded the clay into figures, each one a careful and deliberate creation. These figures, shaped by her divine touch, became the first humans to roam the earth. Initially, Nuwa crafted each person by hand, infusing a bit of her spirit into everyone. But she quickly noticed that this method was too time-consuming and energy-intensive. In a moment of ingenuity, Nuwa figured out a quicker way to create humans. She dipped a piece of string in mud and flicked it through the air, and where the mud droplets fell, more humans appeared. This new technique allowed her to create many more people in much less time. Yet there was a catch. Those formed from her hands were considered special, becoming nobles and leaders with certain privileges and status. Meanwhile, the ones born from the flicked mud droplets became the commoners, living simpler, less distinguished lives. This tale, as passed down by the ancients, provides a glimpse into how they perceived their social hierarchy. It offers a mythological basis for the existence of different social classes in ancient China. In another story about humanity's dawn, Nuwa is accompanied by Fuxi, and together they endure a massive flood. Following divine instructions, they marry and set about repopulating the earth. This narrative adds yet another layer to the rich tapestry of ancient Chinese creation myths, which we'll delve into further in an upcoming discussion. Every culture across history has crafted its own narrative about the world's inception. These stories encourage us to cherish and look after our planet. What's your favorite creation myth? Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more insights into these fascinating tales.